Hello and welcome to my Sunday From. So today I have a read for you guys, and I just want to go over these things and see if maybe you guys can kind of understand and comprehend that there's so much going on in the world that needs your undivided attention, and there's only one way to educate yourself about certain things that happen in society, in life, in the community. And I want everybody to be aware that yes, there are some things that happen that could have been prevented, and that's one of the hot topics right now. We're generally talking about these things because why? Because they occur all the time, and it causes so much pain and heartache, and it causes a lot of doubt, and cast a shadow on a lot of organized effort to continue tackling these problems, because there are some of us that do want better for our people. We do, look and search for, solutions and resolve within the issues that affect our community. I don't have any doubt in my mind that, for the most part, a lot of us are 10 toes down and we aren't going anywhere. We're still on this. And it's been a long journey, and it's worth the while. And I can guarantee you I'm not going nowhere. That said, let me just read this. It's easier for me to read it. So I went ahead and wrote it for you. So it's a bit lengthy, but I feel like these are things that are in the news already. So maybe you have heard of them. So this one, child predation. There has been a surge of hate that has attacked our youth, targeting them online and offline. I recently asked you guys to remove certain creators off TikTok, and I revealed why. There are more predators out there, and they come in every form. After revealing my professional opinion commentary, I was feeling the sidestepping burn of backlash from randos who otherwise would never even click play. Why would a degenerate need support, self-help, nor basic red pill knowledge? That's why and how I know they don't belong here. I categorize hate toward youth as acts of terror, zero tolerance, and I want them removed, kept away from residential areas around the globe, and universally if need be. Now, what am I talking about exactly here? Well, I will save that story for last, because even our lovely city of Cincinnati, where I live in Ohio, couldn't get in the conversation when we needed support for a mayoral decision to remove the failing chief of police, whom after our ethnic communities saw a rise in crime against our children, did nothing, but did promise to do things I found frivolous, unnecessary, and damn near police state, giving order and direction to our heroes in uniform that would not only cause them to suffer and fail, but cast a shadow of doubt on their measure and ability to enforce the law. their only job. Had they been put to patrolling hotspots for crime, this whole time she worked for the department, even budged to just walk over and check on the youth at all, period, we would not be here. And we aren't the only places on earth that have suffered under a failing system that grifts off checks and balances. As we look back on this year alone, I urge you all to find the compassion, the time for our youth. Take the time our children need to prove and show they are valued, loved, and protected. We need adults to adult, not to twerk 8 months pregnant on cars in the middle of a road during rush hour. With that, I have some true crime that has left us all shook, confused, and searching for answers. It was Thanksgiving weekend, and this happened in Stockton, California. And a family rented out a party room for their kid's birthday. They invited mostly kids. It was Saturday around 6 p.m. and shots rang out from several gunmen dressed in dark clothing. They crept towards the building from the parking lot, guns pointed at the victims, is what was shown on surveillance video. The parking lot was so packed with cars. I find this also unbelievable. My mind can't make sense of this senseless act of cowardice. They committed pedicide at the end of rush hour, and still no arrests. No arrests have been made, and yet, again, the only lead they have are claims that defame the family. And in this case, 4 families that have lost. And I will read the names. 21-year-old Susano Archuleta, 14-year-old Amari Peterson, an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old. At the birthday celebration of a 2-year-old girl. Yet again, Newsom would rather not be bothered with our youth, fund proper patrolling gear and equipment, maybe some oversight, give a hand if needed. It's free and probably motivation. Now, 11 others have been injured, but I want to see, first and foremost, I want to say, may the victims rest in peace. Now, on the top of this, I'm writing Turning Point, aka haters, because I guess I'll just generalize y'all too. An employee from Turning Point met a man through an app and met up with him at a restaurant for drinks. As they began to talk, she opened up to him that she was interested in him and he immediately shut her down, feeling rejected and humiliated. Jeanette Garcia began to drink and enticed him with a job offer at Turning Point, stating that she could get him in the alleged pedophile cesspool that this is youth not-for-profit, quote unquote. Being a creep herself, as she continued the chat, she added that the offer was a trade-off to where he gets the job and she would in turn have relations with him. He gets embarrassed and she starts a belligerent tirade in public. As he runs to his car, she starts riding his tail, screaming threats, and soon they're both on the road. But what he doesn't know is that even though he met her online, she has his address and they are headed to the same location. This man, which the court calls him Father Doe, has been in the process of suing Miss Turdy Point for a year. He in fact is a single father, and although he wanted romance with her, she was not the one, quote unquote. So why did she end up back at his house anyway? The court documents state that Turdy Point is accused of dealing with corrupt cops and allegedly called the police at the restaurant. By the time he had gotten in the car and drove home, shamed, which by the way took him 45 minutes, she had phoned her buddies down at the station, got into a car with her drinking buddy, who also works for Turdy Point, and both violently intoxicated while they took their drive to his home where his 13-year-old daughter was home alone. The court papers read that she coerced her by telling her, "Your dad is drunk and is being bad. Please get in the car. He's coming home right now and could be violent and attack you." She persisted and instilled fear into the child so great, she left the safety of her home to get in the vehicle of random drunken strangers. He and his family were scrambling. They all called the police, called everyone they knew, and combed the entire area for hours when each one began getting a weird visit from a duo of two sketchy cops. So each one got the same visit from the same cops, who decided she was safe with Miss Turdy Point and that he was unfit that very moment, even though he wasn't drunk or acting and behaving poorly or strangely. The woman dropped the child off 12 hours after he initially arrived home and found his teen daughter missing, with no sign telling him where she was, how to contact her, where he could find her. At almost 2:30, a call was made between them, he and Turdy Point, where she confirmed the kidnapping and told him she wasn't giving her back. The child's grandmother decided to intervene with the kidnapping and met Miss Turdy Point at a restaurant to talk to her. That's when she became instantly, randomly sane and dropped the child off. The next day, the teen now suffers from severe PTSD, unable to do daily tasks, leave her room, and is failing at academics. So far, even media confirms she's a real creep. The public only knows her as a controversial modern woman. And so far, she has yet to be held accountable. And that's what, he seeks right now. And allegedly, she is countersuing. So, you guys who hate watch my show want an example. And well, what can I say? What else is there to say? Told you so. If you like this video, give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, my Sunday Frump. Bye-bye.